Hey, everybody. Hey, Cindy. Thank you for being here already. Hold on. Let me just, of course, I was supposed to wait a minute. It's been a while, y'all. Hold on. Let me just check my mic and my frequency. Oh, wait. And my frequency. All right. I'm in. It's been a while. I'm in. Wait, hold on. One more thing, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, right. We got some people coming through. We have some people coming through. Yeah. It's going to be a party. All right. Mm-mm-mm. All right, y'all. Okay, I have the nerve to be nervous. Bear with me. It has been so long since I've. Now I'm not late. I was already here. I got here at 6:40, and that's how it is, though. Sometimes, though, that just is how it is. But yeah, so it's been a while since I've come on live with you guys. Uh, there's just been so much going on, and I have to get back in the groove. I love coming on live and talking to you guys. I love what I do. I love that even one person listens to me. So imagine when, the whole crew gets here and it's like 10. I'm like, yeah, we having a good time. So yeah. In the meantime, uh, whew, in the meantime, the show is going through a revamp. It is, but it's more behind the scenes. I've definitely been posting a lot more short clip videos. Missed you too, Cindy. I've been posting a lot more short clip videos because I'm trying to work on that, getting better with engagement with the audience. Going into the algorithm, of course, and fighting the algorithm, but getting our voices out there. And I say our voices because I feel like we make the inconvenient truth great again together. Because without y'all, there's no me. Like, I mean, I could talk to myself in the mirror all day, but without y'all, there's no me. So yeah. So behind the scenes, I've been definitely posting a lot more, and I've been working with people and getting some amazing help. And I've been making some amazing connections. So I will start going live again on Thursdays, starting this should be this Thursday, around 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock. Because that's a good time for me. 6 o'clock on Thursdays. I'm always pretty much available. I'm going to be bringing guests back to the show to start talking about all the different kind of topics that we have going on. So, without further ado, why don't we get to our first topic? Hold on, let me turn this off on my phone because, um, all right, cool. Let's get to our first topic. All right, so of course I'm going to talk about Trump, right? But I wanted first to share with you guys a thread that I wrote on Instagram. Lord have mercy, on X, Twitter. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you guys now because I thought it was special to me. It was. Um, hold on, go to my profile. My oh, okay. Where is my thread? Aha. Here we go. Here's my thread. Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure you guys can see it. I'm going to bring myself to the bottom bet. All right. So over the weekend, like on Friday, I think no, it was Thursday. On Thursday, I saw that Robbie Starbuck on Twitter had posted that they finally, are arresting Tupac's murderer. And he was like, wait till you hear the motive, So I'm thinking it's something like different, some crazy thing, right? And it was just the same old thing as usual, the same thing, which I get to in this thread. So over the weekend, they were reporting that Tupac's murderer was arrested. I guess the last surviving person that was in the car, uh, of the people who took out Tupac. I think it was three of them. Well, two of them they ended already, and you already know how they ended. But this last one, he was still alive, and they finally got him in jail, right? So first, I want to Um, I want to actually share a clip first because of him talking about it back in the day. Not a bookmark. Hold on. Of him talking about not back in the day, not too long ago. Not too long ago, he was talking about it. Hold on. Nothing ever. Just there we go. Hold on. Yeah, this guy.
Something like that. Yeah.
And Orlando is the shooter. He's
So now this guy, his name is Keefe D, and I hate to even say his name, but he says he describes what Tupac basically what happened to him while they were spraying him up.
the known shooter. I mean, everybody know Orlando Anderson was a shooter. So Dre got cold feet. He didn't want to do it. He gave the gun to Orlando, and Orlando shot Tupac and Suge.
Yeah, he did his thing. Yeah.
Okay, so what was Tupac and Suge reaction when Orlando started shooting up the BMW?
Oh shit. Suge just ducked his head, and the first bullet went in his head. Then the next one's hit him. It was like he was doing a breakdance trying to jump in the back seat or something. Yeah. Like damn. Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, look
Looked
at
like
this.
he
I
was like
mean, so that's what. So he's saying like, oh, Tupac, when they were spraying him, it's like he was breakdancing to get to the back seat. Like he was like, oh man, well, he was just breakdancing. Like
trying to jump in the, but it was bullets was in his ass.
And you
So
said Tupac tried to jump in the back seat
it looked like
when y'all start shooting.
he
Up
was
the car.
reaching. And it looked like yeah, he was trying to jump in the back seat or something. He was like breakdancing or some shit.
breakdancing or some ash. He wasn't breakdancing while y'all was spraying him. The how like the bullets when they hit the body. I mean, it's like gyrating the body around. Like I mean, with all the force, and just even another um video of him. Hold on. It's just like I can't even. Yeah.
No, no, big dog, no. Them dudes was kids, man. Both of them dudes was kids back then. They was kids, dude. Them dudes was kids. Dre was an all CIF basketball player, dude. You know what I'm saying? Big Dre was an all CIF basketball player.
Yeah, but they were still in the car, ending people. They were still in the car. So it's the usual thing. So to go back to my thread and what I wrote about this, and I just wanted to definitely share it because, well, of course, because the fact that it just turns out to be the same thing. This will explain exactly how I feel. So here's the thread: Tupac murder solved, and it's another black thing. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was sprayed in Vegas. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I had the same feeling like Biggie said he had. Tupac had been sprayed before, so he will be okay. You guys understand what spray is, okay? So like this is YouTube, so I can't get all graphic. Uh, we were we were all shocked when his life ended on September 13th, 1996, because of that reason. Not only that, but it was Tupac. Tupac can't end. This didn't make any sense. It of course it did make sense when you saw the footage before the spraying. Still, there had to be more to it, right? Someone had to be behind it. Thus began the decades old stories of Tupac being set up by a shadow owner of the music industry. How about the stories of the FBI ending Tupac, or even better, the stories of Tupac still being alive somewhere in Cuba with black nationalists like Mutulu Shakur? Yes, it had to be something like that because there was no way that this huge personality, this man of art, could really have ended over a fight in a Vegas hotel. Sadly, the truth is that Tupac was ended over senseless crime. This beautiful life, full of talent, who believed in speaking and screaming the truth, this beautiful life full of talent who believed in speaking and screaming the truth. I really hate that I just did it like that. All right. You don't have to agree with everything Tupac had to say, but we can all agree that he wasn't today's lost and foolish BLM activist. He was telling a ghetto story in his music that wasn't being told with his kind of passion. He also was in a place of growth, and I know how that sounds after realizing that he started the fight, which would later be the cause of his expiration. Tupac started to notice that the propaganda wasn't adding up to the results. I remember when he said something along the lines of, "I'm told to hate the cops, but it's the one who looks like me that wants to end me." You know, I really hate when my door just like made the sound. Okay, that's the mailman. Loosely quoting. Maybe Tupac holds a special place in my heart because we share the same birthday date of June 16. Maybe because of that, I felt like I connected with him, even though I was an East Coast girl from Brooklyn. I understood his tormented soul of wanting to do good, but fighting demons. Tupac once said in an interview that he was doing God's work. None of us are perfect, and we all have our path to walk. In the end, it was another rap thing, or maybe another black thing. I remember radio DJs losing their minds over a headline from one of these daily news medias that read, "Another rap thing." I was mad too, and I must laugh at it today because we got emotionally distracted from the truth as usual because of racism. 20 some odd years later, they were right. There wasn't any superhero story to Tupac's disappearance. He was ended the same way many black men are ended, by someone who looks like them. You can dislike me for saying all of this, but you know it's true. In the end, I thank God for sharing Tupac with us, but I'm heartbroken all over again because of this inconvenient truth. We will never know how far this talented soul would have gone because another black thing. And just some couple pictures of Tupac, you know. And there you go. A young man like that who was a young man like this, um who just it's the usual thing, right? But we couldn't believe it for the longest time. People would like, even y'all know Tupac's not dead, y'all. I think he was in Cuba, this, that, and the third. No, yeah, the FBI got him, because I was a part of those kind of stories too. I was. And it's not that I don't believe in shadow governments, or like, it's not that I don't believe in, that there is certain groups that do control certain things, but this was not that. It was the usual. And that's the theme. So today you're gonna see a lot of my frustration with the way black folk are performing. Of course, so disclaimer first, provide your own not alls. It's not all black people. We know this, but the mainstream media has us out here looking foolish, but at the same time, again, we give them the ammunition. And you just can't, when I say we, these people doing the stuff, the normie black person is just trying to take care of their children, their home, and go to work. But it is this constant, it's just this constant lack of self accountability that we're seeing, and then the performance. So in the end, we lost a great talent over a fight, and then they just ended him. Yeah, who cares? It was Tupac. They ended him. So what? Right? And we see that for lesser reasons today. Oh, he was talking about me, so I'm gonna go ahead and get like, really? Okay. So on this episode of my live, what I'm doing is I'm gonna talk about certain subjects, and then I'll parse it out and upload it. So basically, I'm taping behind the scenes, and you guys get to be part of the behind the scenes, production. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. And speaking of, black folk performing, and we're back at it again with Trump and this Letitia James, who swears that she's going to take down Donald Trump, and everybody's acting like all of a sudden they don't know if Trump really, if his property was worth all of this, and all the nuanced conversation is just absolutely ridiculous to me. I have to hand it to, wait a minute, breaking. President Trump just posted me on Truth Social. Shout out to Dom Lucre, who Trump posted this. I mean, this is really not even being this is not hyperbole. This isn't being extra. This isn't being extravagant. It's true. The constant persecution, you have to have God with you in order to be able to still be standing if you're Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to church every Saturday or Sunday and he's praying and he knows, 2 Corinthians isn't 2 Corinthians, it's 2 Corinthians. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you have to have a force behind you, because what they lob at this man is absolutely insane. And so the new thing is, okay, let's see what he had to say too with the judges. But before we get there, right? Hold on. Let me just make sure. Of course, there's going to be a lag, y'all. I really hate StreamYard for this. I need to get another service. Drop a comment below and let me know what you guys think, where I should go as far as getting another streaming service. Meanwhile, hit the like button. Please help me out, because by now I would have had a few more people. I know it's been a while, but like, dang. But like, help me out. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and listen to what he says. Please forgive me for the lag. I really, like I said, I need to get another service, because this is happening way too much with StreamYard.
I think that was very good. That last 5 minutes was outstanding, because the judge essentially conceded that the statute of limitations that we won at the Court of Appeals is in effect. Therefore, about 80% of the case is over. I was going to come out and say that, as you know, we're not entitled to a jury, which is pretty unusual in the United States of America. So I think it's very unfair that I don't have a jury, but the judge's last statement was very fair. And if I read it right, I'll let perhaps one of the lawyers speak to it. Cliff, maybe you'll speak to it if you would. But the way I interpret that, and the way everyone else in the room seems to interpret that, is that the statute of limitations is a very real thing in this country. And that would be about 80% of this case would be over. Could somebody speak to that, please? Cliff, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So based on the judge's comments, based on the judge's comments at the end of the trial today, it would appear that he is agreeing that all the transactions that closed prior to 2014 are now out of the case.
Which is about 80% of the case. And it's also something that we won on appeal, but was not accepted by this court, but now seems to be accepted by this court.
It's just all a bunch of confusion. It really just is. It's always just a bunch of confusion. People who lie on this man and everything. All right, so what is this case about, right? So they're basically, from what I can gather, the case is about, Donald Trump committed fraud with all of his oh my goodness, Donald Trump committed fraud with all of his assets, his businesses, his homes. He overpriced them so that he could get more money from the loans. And I guess, I don't know what, spend the money or something, like, I don't know. And the judge just said, like, Mar-a-Lago is only worth 18 million. Like, just, okay. I have a video where Alexander McCurry and Alex Safari from the Duran, they explain it, of course, a lot better than me, because I'm not going to lie to you. When these indictments come out, I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, what they said he did. Like, I barely listen, because I barely listen because of the fact that it's always the same thing. There's always some loophole, something, not even a loophole. They just are stretching. If reaching was a country, that would be us right now, because these people are reaching for anything, or just throwing spaghetti to the wall, seeing what sticks. Like, it's just crazy. So let me share this Duran video first, and then we'll get into even the little details about. Hold on. We'll get into the details about what people are saying about this case. We'll get into all of that, because people still try to have this nuanced conversation, and it's just ridiculous.
All right, Alexander, let's discuss the Trump leak.
For liability purposes, I do not work with the Duran. I just respect the Duran. Okay, so my views are not their views.
Gold case in New York, where he has been found guilty in New York for his asset valuations. All right. What?
Well, where did we get?
I guess putting it very simply, they're saying that he committed fraud to the banks by overvaluing his assets and thus received loans on overvalued properties. I've never heard of a bank in my life that has not done its due diligence or has not contracted somewhere that doesn't have partners to do due diligence on businesses or high net worth individuals before they enter into some sort of a loan or cooperation with that person. But what are your thoughts on this?
Well,
So, and he's right? So, so now, so the bank doesn't do any kind of investigation. They just, okay, guys, I need, for my 1-bedroom little house here. Okay, my 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I just have a little something in the corner in the fields. It's worth $1 million. Okay, cool. We'll give you $1 million loan. Like, no, they do appraisals. They do investigations to see if it's actually worth that amount, but they didn't do it for Trump, though. You know what I mean?
Well, can I just say, I have been involved in this kind of thing, and I find this one of
We're not going to watch a full 27 minutes. It's just like the first, 3 minutes of what they're saying is just good enough,
the oddest cases, one of the most bizarre cases I've ever encountered. First of all, it's important to say that Trump has repaid all the loans
He repaid all the loans.
we're talking about. So it's not as if any of the banks which we're talking about have lost any money on any of this. As far as I also understand it, the complaints didn't actually come from the banks themselves. Thirdly, the judge is placing, as far as I can understand, all of Trump's assets in New York into receivership. Now, receivership, as far as I'm aware, this is the case in Britain, happens when someone is bankrupt or business is insolvent. How can we talk about insolvency or bankruptcy in a situation where all the loans have been repaid? I mean, it doesn't make any kind of sense to me. I mean, it seems to me most bizarre. But the thing that is most bizarre of all is that the judge says that Trump inflated the value of his properties, and perhaps on a sliding scale, he was generous in his estimate of some of the valuations of his properties, which isn't unusual. If everybody who did that kind of thing were charged with fraud, well, an awful lot of people who own properties and who sought loans might find themselves, in prison or worse. But anyway, having said that about Trump, on the one property which one can talk about with some degree of confidence, which is Mar-a-Lago, the judge has given a valuation which is far lower than the overvaluation that he's alleging against Trump. Now, I've seen many pictures of Mar-a-Lago. This is a huge, massive property. It's on the beachfront in Florida. It's built in this ornate, style, like a castle. It's, one of these tremendous buildings that the United States, that the rich people in the United States used to build, in the interwar years and the sort of Gilded Age and all that. So this is clearly a very big, very elaborate, very expensive property. And I would have thought, and I have some experience as a sort of estate. I work for estate agents, so I know what I'm talking about here. I would have said that, with contemporary prices, this is at least a property that's in the hundreds of millions. The judge says it's worth 18 million. Now, this is on a scale that somebody came up with that, it's between 18 and 27. So, of course, notice the judge goes for the absolutely lowest figure, which is 18 million. Well, some people I have spoken to and some people who have been writing to me suggest that, 180 to 250 million might be a more appropriate price. And one person has actually sent me an article by Forbes. Forbes, not friends of Trump's, you would have thought. And they apparently valued it at around 200 to 250 million, which is much closer to the exaggerated valuation that Trump is supposed to have given it. And apparently, Trump estimated it at about 700 million. And there are some people who think you might actually justify that as well. Bear in mind now, this property has been owned by Donald Trump. It was owned by the former president of the United States. It has functioned as a kind of summer White House. To some people, maybe that would also add value. So, I mean, the whole thing, the whole case seems to me most strange. Let me put it like that. I'm being, very careful in my choice of words, but I cannot believe it will survive on appeal. I mean, the whole logic of this seems to me so bizarre, so all over the place. And I gather that, the case was rushed through. There was no jury as far as I can see. Well, maybe you don't need for juries in this kind of case in the United States. You don't need juries for this kind of case in Britain. I'm not complaining about that. But it seems a most whimsical decision by the judge. And Donald Trump and his supporters are going to say that it's a politically motivated case. And given the weirdness of the judgment, I can't see how one can argue back at that. I mean, the judge was so obviously unfriendly, so obviously hostile to Trump that, I mean, this is a decision that surely won't survive on appeal.
So thank you, Alexander McCurse, for breaking it down and keeping it real. Because since he's asking, why aren't the banks having anything to say? Because they're getting their money. And it's not like he's bankrupt and he's not paying these people back. It's not like he stole some sort of money and he went to, he went away with it. Where could he ever go that people wouldn't follow? What are we talking about here? I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But of course it doesn't make sense. The only thing I have to disagree with Alexander McCurse on is well, yeah, the judge, they ruled about, the statute of limitations for these complaints, whatever they may be. So, okay, that kind of went to his favor. But let me tell you, whatever's left over that they're still going to litigate, whatever that is, they'll try to find him guilty for it. They don't care. They hate this man. They hate this man. There's just no other explanation for it. Come on, man. They've been it's been since when did he come down the escalator? I mean, what was that? 2016 or something? Since then, they've been giving this man a hard time. Back then, I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, he's just being super, emotional and a complainer. No, Trump doesn't know what he's talking. Oh, they've given Obama such a harder time, which is absolutely excuse me, not true. We know that it's not true. Come on. The media never gave Obama a hard time. Maybe people had stuff to say about Obama, like regular folk, but the media never gave him a hard time. But back then, I believed the hype, oh no, Obama was treated worse because he was black. Such a lie. A man who doesn't even look at himself as a black man. What's up, Traditions? Thank you for coming through. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. A man who doesn't even look at himself as a black man, be very clear. Obama does not think that he's a black man at all. Okay. So all of this connection that we had, and for all intents and purposes, when old people 80, 90 years old, they're like, oh my God, yeah, we finally did have a first black president. I'm not that nurse who's going to be like, no, you didn't, because he didn't do anything for you. He killed Muammar Gaddafi. And I don't do that. Right. So I don't do stuff like that. It's why should I take away that good feeling from the person, that they have that to hold on to? So I'm not that kind of person. Right. But to everybody else, the people my age, for sure, I try to wake them up immediately. That man did nothing for you. Okay. He made gay marriage totally federal. Now I'm going on an Obama digress here, but I have no choice. And yes, Traditions states it very correctly. Obama was treated differently because he is black. Yeah, he was. There's just no way the media could have ever came for Barack Obama. You know what I mean? There's just no way. Hoping to change. That liar got me on that hoping to change mess. He really did. But anywho, the point is, but Trump, from day one, once they realized, and not so how they started it from day one, they made him a joke. People were like, Trump, come on, he can't win. Like that's, I remember that narrative. And that whole narrative was given to us by the media because we laughed like Donald Trump win president. That's not going to happen. Who does he think he is? Like as if Donald Trump was somehow not intelligent enough to win a presidential election or run the country. The man he was Trump, like billionaire, made an empire, he came from his family, his father was a man who worked hard and made a name for himself, right? And so he was already brought up with that kind of hardworking type of ethics, right? Yeah, he knows how to make himself the butt of the joke, but he's not dumb in any fashion. I don't know, even myself, I was like, Trump's not going to win. I guess because I was used to the career politician always winning. That's what I was used to. But Trump knew how to market himself. He definitely did. He kept it real. He did. And a lot of people didn't like it, right? But he did. But anywho, and then when they realized like, oh shoot, he might have a chance, I don't even think they ever really realized he had a chance. These people were arrogant. They were very arrogant, I was on a space. I was on Suleiman Space on Twitter. By the way, y'all, please hit the like button. Thank you. And when I'm on Twitter, if you guys ever are on Twitter, you follow me on Twitter, I go on as many spaces as possible. I've talked to some amazing people on Twitter Spaces. Now, Suleiman was saying, like, he was like, it wasn't just him. No, it was Khaleesi who was saying, oh, the arrogance of Hillary Clinton, that she called Trump voters a basket of deplorables, amazing, right? And so even if that was only 30% of people, you called 30% of you called this group of the country a basket of deplorables, right? So all of that, the attacks on his base, it was they've been coming from. And then when he won, and I heard that she was, there was reports that sis was in the back, like crying, like, no, I'm not gonna concede. I didn't lose. Like, no, I can't. No, I didn't lose. I didn't lose. They said she was taking them back. Listen, and I think, from what I heard, the reports was that Obama caught her up and was like, you have to concede. Like, that's enough, right? Although a lot of people say Obama kind of puppeted that situation to get back at the Clintons for how they treated him. Because from what I'm hearing, there was times when he was running against Hillary, Bill Clinton was like, look at him. He can't be president. He's supposed to be getting my coffee and my newspaper. God. I was like, oh, dang. Okay. So anyway, so all of that. And then what happened? Russia. That's all I heard, to the point where I believed it. I was like, oh my God, treason, Russia. He used Russia to become president. But then I kept saying to myself, like, why don't they just take him out then? Like, not take him out, like end him, like remove him. If you guys know he did this, he should be removed. From right there, I should have been like, it must be a lie. But I just, the narrative, the propaganda, which I'm going to get back to, right? But we've discussed this on this channel too. I did a watch, like a Sunday, like a live watch of the plot to take down the president. I mean, it gives you the full detailed explanation of how the minute Trump they were already spying on him before he went into the White House. But then when he went into the White House, what they did with General Mike Flynn, how they tried to destroy his whole administration. That's why when people say to me, like, Trump didn't do all his promises. And I'm like, well, you had to fight a bunch of people. Like, what do you mean? He went through it that first year. I mean, he went through it his whole time. They tried to impeach the guy, right? So it's one thing after another, after another, after another. Then finally, he's not president anymore, right? However that was done. And they still, every time, there's still more indictments. What is going on? When does it end? When does it end? It doesn't. But there's people who can try to have a nuanced conversation about it. And I'm like, if somebody came to put some sort of dagger, like coming straight at you with a dagger, and they're getting ready to attack you, would you have a nuanced conversation about that? Like, well, I don't know, maybe they're not going to attack me. Maybe they just like to walk around with daggers, or, it's not the first time somebody's held a dagger. And so what does it take for somebody to have to bleed out for you to be like, oh, I guess they shouldn't have did that, right? It is insane. Like, this is how you lose a country, like, immediately. Like, this is how you because when you're basically trying to make a reason to act like this stuff is normal, that's how you end up you end up like, because you nuanced your way right into them taking your freedom. And we've been actually doing that. So I just want to see the basket of deplorables clip, because I mean, it was insane. This lady didn't she was like F them them deplorables. I haven't seen it in a while.
I think we know what we're up against.
Look at her smug face.
We do, don't we?
It was rich.
Uh,
Forgive me.
Donald Trump has pledged to appoint Supreme Court justices who will overturn marriage equality. And if you read about the people that he says are the ones he's likely to appoint, he's not kidding. In fact, if you look at his running mate signed a law that would have let businesses discriminate against LGBT Americans. And there's so much more that I find deplorable in his campaign, the way that he cozies up to white supremacists, makes racist attacks, calls women pigs, mocks people with disabilities. You can't make this up. He wants to round up and deport 16 million people, calls our military a disaster. And every day he says something else which I find so personally offensive, but also dangerous. Don't see the latest outrageous, offensive, inappropriate comment and think, well, he's done this time. We are living in a volatile political environment. You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that.
Absolutely. Like, that's why you lost. Like, you don't talk. Why? Why? Because he was telling the truth. That's how mad she was. That's how mad the establishment gets. Like, the people were getting a voice. Because Donald Trump, I heard him go on one of the debates, and this was a primary debate with the Republicans, and he was saying so many things, and they were booing him. And then I'm just gonna have to this is just annoying. Who is this person? Because I do have to put moderators on this. I have to look into putting moderators on on my lives. I need to learn how to do that because I don't want this person. So hold on a second. I do not know who this person is. Hold on. Yeah, I don't need all that. I don't know what was going on. It was very distracting to look. So, anywho, back to what I was saying. So, anyway, I mean, I don't. It's just weird. So, anywho, like I was saying, you know, everything that she said, she had that coming. Can we get some country grammar? I'm gonna do it at the end. I will do it at the end. Nas, what's up, Nas? She had it coming. The basket of deplorables. She was mad. They were getting. That's right. I now remember. Trump went on the Republican primary, and he was saying stuff about like warmongers and all that, and they were booing him. And he said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "You see, they're booing me." He said, "You couldn't get a ticket to this debate. You know why? All of the people in the audience, this is their donors. These are corporate people. These are their donors. So they don't like what I'm saying. That's why they keep booing me." Okay. And then they started to boo him again. He was like, because I don't need them. So I'm going to tell you the truth. You can't get a ticket to this debate. You can't, American person, but they're here, the donors, right? I mean, we'll just come out and just call it out for what it is, you know? I'm getting like weird people come on my thing. It's just like okay. So anywho, so yeah, so that is how oh God, and it's distracting me. So I will have to start putting moderators on. I'm gonna go look into that for sure. Now, so yeah, that was her with the basket of deplorables. So let's go ahead and go into Twitter again to see all of what was going on. Yeah, Cindy, I took that person off. It was just too much of the tarot destroyer. I didn't know what was going on. So I took them off. Like, it's just all of a sudden a bunch of stuff is, whoa, New York State Police. Why is that trending? I am being very distracting right now. Missing 9-year-old girl. Oh, God, she's been found safe. Okay, well, that's good. All right, back to the trending because I remember I saw there was, this stuff moves so fast. I'm not going to stay on this too long. I'm not, because we have so much more to talk about. We do. But just just like I said, how they tried to nuance this whole thing. Here we go. New York Attorney General Letitia James plans to be in courtroom tomorrow for the start of the civil fraud trial against Donald Trump. This sets up a potential face-off between them. Like, this is not supposed to be WWE where we're excited about things like this. Like, this is real stuff. Like, this woman, and I remember she said, oh, he's not above the law. Listen, so to get back to that, I know black female behavior. I know female behavior. First of all, I know female behavior. I'm going to be the first one to take down Trump. He doesn't think, if he think that he's just, he's above the law, I'm going to show them how it's done. I'm going to put him in jail. Like, for what? Why? Like, what is this? What is it? I know that's exactly what they said, I got some weird people coming on the thing. So whoever Gloria Miller is, let's do this. Okay. So since you're coming on my channel and you're having borderline personality disorder and you want to have some attention seeking behavior, I'll give you some attention. What do you call a black man who had a fight with his white girlfriend? Homeless. Gloria, I don't know what that does for you. If it makes you feel special to make those kind of comments, you really need to see somebody about that and start trying to get some, maybe a little bit of Klonopin or something to help that out, or maybe some Seroquel. I'm not diagnosing you because I can't for liability purposes, but I'm saying you really should see somebody about that. Okay, it's not a good way to live. Now, anyway, so anywho, anyway, that's how they are. So she's gonna take him down. Like, girl, bye. Okay, bye. And then Brian the Krasenstein brothers, like, these are the people who are nuanced, right? As Trump's civil fraud trials begin today, here are some quotes that we should remember. NYAG Letitia James, no matter how thank you, Brian. Thank you. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you have, no one is above the law. And you better believe that she was like this when she was key witness Michael Cohen. For 5 years, I have called for Donald's day of reckoning. The day is here and accountability will be had. You lied on that man. You're afraid to go to jail, so you're lying on him so that you don't go to jail. Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, along with former president, are all expected to be called to the stand. How much money will Trump be liable for when it's all said and done? And why should someone who is liable of fraud be president? The loans are paid back, bro. Like, what are you talking? Anyone that this is Alpha Warrior. Anyone that believes that this is not an attack because he was and will be the president again is selling you snake oil. Absolutely. Like, yeah. Even this, he says, this is a sham and you know it. Not one businessman in America has not had high valuations on their financial statement. Well, maybe Jimmy Carter. I've never fudged the valuations. He didn't. Anywho, like I said, when it's Trump, he's already guilty. That's it, right? That's it. It is insane. It's insane, And there were people on the spaces who were doing the same thing. Oh, well, well, he's liable for this because he shouldn't have did that. Trying to talk about stuff and and everything, like just trying to talk about certain things and trying to like make it seem like he did something wrong, but they didn't really know what they were talking about. That's why I can't even remember what they were saying. It's just insane. What's up, Drew Titan? Okay. I got some people. Bozette is here. Gloria is a hater. and we're going to go ahead and take her off too. So I am gonna have to work on making some moderators because it's really hard to like. I want to be very clear, Gloria. Though I'm a psych nurse, there's absolutely nothing you can say to me that would ever hurt my feelings, especially when you're a loser coming on my live doing this. But I am not giving this girl any kind of attention. Like, this girl crazy. All right, there we go. That should be good. I want to say I don't know what's going on, so I see that I'm gonna have to really do this moderator thing. F you, YouTube. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Oh, bet. I can even do it from. Okay, all right, cool. Whoa, what's going on my thing? People are talking about me. This is insane. Hold on. All right, cool. So back to what I was talking about. So, Trudy, did you see that? Like, what the freak? I didn't know what was going on. Like, that is insane. All right. Now to talk about this black girl behavior. I wanted to bring this up. I made a video about this already. We have a lot to talk about, so I need to stay focused. So, but anywho, that is the answer. That's the answer. That's what's going on with Trump. Another sham indictment. Okay, another sham case, and of course, the DeSantis team, they can't wait. They salivate at the thought of Trump going to jail because that's the only way. That's the only way DeSantis is going to win the primary. I mean, let's just keep it real. You know, that's just the only way. They salivate at it. They do. It's just disgusting. Hold on. Where is this black girl? Because I know there she is. There she is. Theo Jordan says, make me embarrassed to be an American. This is some sort of congresswoman, some congresswoman, you know. Can you help me make moderators? I don't know how to do it. Like, this is happening fast. Like, I've never had this happen to me before. That is crazy. Hold on. And it's so annoying because it's distracting me. Like, it is distracting. I don't want to see all that. So, at least if YouTube, if you know, if these are the people who are going to come to my channel, that's fine. Put me all the way out there so everybody can come. Okay, dang. Like, you know, or did they hit the like button before they post comments on there? So, hold on. So this is Miss Crockett talking about something. This is some congresswoman. Oh God, that's only half of the performance, though. The problem is, I'm just showing you what I have now. This little 30 seconds. That's only half of the performance. This is fucking irritating. Oh, so yeah, how do you do it? I didn't share my screen. It's because these people are so okay. There's just too much going on. Let me let y'all listen to this, and y'all gonna have to give me an intermission real quick. I need to figure out how to do this thing
on because he's got 91 counts pending right now. But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child. Until they find some evidence, we need to get back to the people's work, which means keeping this government open so that people don't go hungry in the streets of the United States. And I will yield on because he's got 91 counts pending right now. But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of.
Okay. Whew. All right. Yeah. I know, Bozette. Okay. So Yeah, like yeah, woke tard, right? Like what that type of typical stereotypical loud and proud black woman behavior is insane. Like it's disgusting. And then people think it's a beautiful thing. People act like, oh, look at her. Yeah, she getting them. She getting them. She telling them all about like no, no, no. This is not good behavior at all. It's not. It's actually very It does nothing. It does nothing. It's all a show. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And then did you hear what she said? She said, "Oh, if I I hope that my parents could love me as much as Joe Biden loves but his kid." Why would you even say something like that? Like why do you what wow. Oh, I could hope and pray that my parents love me as much as Joe Biden. You see how they this is insane. Hold on, y'all. We just had to go to an intermission. Let me find something to put on for y'all because I can't. I don't care about the comments, but it's just distracting because they pop up out of. I'm being spammed. Like I can't even believe that this is happening. So let me just find something else to put on for y'all. Hold on, because it's just irritating because I'm just gonna move on quickly now to I don't even know what to put on. Like, like this is frustrating. What's up, tradition? Yeah, like yeah, because this is insane. Like, all right, hold on, y'all. Just real quick intermission. I need help. Traditions. They told us to play the national anthem, but yeah, bet you know what? Let me just put on because like I feel bad. Like, let me put on Benny Johnson for y'all, real quick. I know I have no choice because Bubba.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have heartache. From the pain, taking my message. From the vein, speaking my lesson. From the brain, seeing the beauty through the... You made me up, you made...
Donald Trump has been brought into court in New York. Donald Trump is being charged with lying about the value of his assets. Okay, well, there's a couple major problems here, but let's begin by showing you the actual clips here of what it looks like Donald Trump in court. I believe we have the actual footage of Donald Trump in the courtroom. We have not seen any footage like this before. We have the mugshot, obviously. We have images of Donald Trump outside of the courtroom, heading into the courtroom. We've never been allowed a camera in the courthouse before. But we actually have the clips. I think we can pop them up here beside me of Donald Trump walking into the court, arriving at the court, and then footage from inside of the actual courtroom. There's something really important that you should see inside of this courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen, the great producer ALX says that at the 45-second mark, you'll actually be able to see the judge and inside of the court. So we'll just let this play. This was broadcast live moments ago, and it is Donald Trump walking in. You have Alina Habba. She's a friend of the show right there. You have Jason Miller, who is obviously a staunch Trump ally, walking with him. You can see here part of the reason for the delay this morning. This was at 9:59 a.m. Part of the reason for the delay this morning is we are building out this breaking news block. But there's something I want you to see. I want you to see the judge. I want you to see the look on the judge and the look on the attorney general's face here when Donald Trump walks into the courtroom, when Donald Trump enters the courtroom. So the cameras, ladies and gentlemen, will show Donald Trump sitting here at the dais, here at the, inside of the courthouse. Something we've never been allowed is to see the actual cameras inside of the courthouse here. Again, this happened approximately 40 minutes ago. And now, ladies and gentlemen, there is Letitia James. That is the Attorney General of New York. Look at this sick, psychosexual fetishization as she glares at Donald Trump. She glares at Trump and his lawyers. And then what you'll see is the judge. Check this out. Check this out. Look at him smirk, take his glasses off, smile for the cameras, shrug. What a hat, this man. This is the man who made a summary judgment without a jury that Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago was worth approximately about as much as a Cracker Jack box.
Man, my hands are moving fast. All right, y'all. I'm back. Traditions helped me out. I made some moderators. Thank you so much because that was insane. And thank you for your patience. Thank you guys. I really, really appreciate y'all. So actually, did you see that was the face of the judge? I didn't know that's what the judge looked like when the judge who did that to Trump. All right, so back to the whole Batgirl behavior. So that behavior that girl was exhibiting is just, it's not even, it's uncouth, you know. Hold on, let me play it one more time and we're gonna run this again because let me play it one more time so that I could give it the actual attention it deserves. Well, actually, I really wish I could find the real one, the Ed Krasenstein, who said like, oh yeah, she killed it. But these people, they post so much. What's her name? This Congresswoman. They post so much that I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to, because I found it under his page. It's just too much with y'all. Oh my God. There she goes. This the full clip of the nonsense. All right, hold up. Let me see. Do I have it up for y'all? All right, bet. All right.
Let me tell you something. I don't want to talk about what y'all want to act like is some big mystery because we keep sitting here and Professor Gerhardt, just to be clear, as my colleagues have even tried to provide evidence, which they're not the ones to provide evidence, have you ever heard them say if, since we've been sitting here for I don't know how long?
Yes, I've been taking a tally.
Oh, okay. Can you show us? Can you show what the tally is?
More than 35 times, the Republican witnesses and Republican members of the committee have used the word if.
Thank you so much for that. Because honestly, if they would continue to say if or Hunter and we were playing the drinking game, I would be drunk by now. Tell you something that was so disturbing as I walked in to this chamber today. As I prepared, I said, what is the crime? Because when you're talking about impeachment, you're talking about high crimes or misdemeanors. And I can't seem to find the crime. And honestly, no one has testified of what crime they believe the president of the United States has committed. But when we start talking about things that look like evidence, they want to act like they blind. They don't know what this is. These are our national secrets. Looks like in the shitter to me. But I will tell you.
Well, she holds up a picture of papers in boxes and says it's our national secrets. I can't stand women. And I can't stand women like this. I cannot.
What the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child.
And so we're gonna stop right there. Thank you so much, lady, for taking Black folk down. You know, thank you so much for taking Black folk back about 100 years. Like your parents, you hope that they love you as much as Joe Biden loves his kids. What is that to even say? What is that to even say? And you know, like, okay, right, all of the acclimates. This type of woman too, by the way, she's the type of, I bet she weaponizes her kids against her baby dad. Yeah, I went there. Don't care. Go in there. Yes, I am. That is that type of woman, you know, like, because I never, and like, yo, like, I know Congress, you know what, in Britain, they do yell at each other. They do all that kind of stuff. They do that in Parliament, you know, I get it, but this is not that. This is, I'm going to show you that I ain't came to play. And this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to talk about this. And I love Joe Biden and Donald Trump is a criminal. Just be like, yo, what? How and these people get elected and they tell you lies. They lie to their constituents. They show papers and they say that's our national secrets. So you know this, you know, like you know this. You've seen the paperwork. It has to stop. It has to stop. And so let me see. Jason said, I tend to be more receptive to information when the speaker isn't screaming and swearing while trying to live, right? Like they just like, you know what? We're not even going to, you know, like try to have any type of decorum. Nah, just out the window. Out the window. Yeah, General Vague, we had some spammers come through, but we got it under control now. I know. We're not Britain, but I'm just saying, like, I can understand like a heated discussion. This is not that. This is nothing. Why is she yelling? There's nobody arguing with her. You know, I can understand if she was arguing, that'd be different. Bozette says, yeah, no crime not bought by China, not funneling money to Ukraine, not lying to the American people, leaving the border wide open. Yes, total treason. Oh, Jesus. Allowing the states to photograph by balloons, and not to mention, I guess Bozette got more coke, a little coke in the White House, you know? It's just ghetto. We are this god dog. This country has just gone down the daggone. I don't want the shitter. Yeah. If Joe Biden loved his son, he would have protected him from crack. I actually think that this is my assessment, and this is my assessment. This is my judgment, my own opinion. I have never seen any kind of evidence necessarily to the fact. I've not read anything anywhere, but this is just what I think. One thing we do remember that Ashley Biden had some diary where she was talking about she took showers with her father. Absolutely insane. I feel somewhere that Joe might have, you know, touched his son. Yeah, I do. That's just my thought. I do. Because, you know, you have to wonder sometimes why they're so jacked up. You know, what is this weird, you know, relationships? It's like, my son doesn't do anything wrong. My son, like, are you guilty about something? I don't know, man. I look at stuff really, like, I get really into it. Yeah, we're going to talk about Anthony Blinken's band practice that he had at the White House recently while we're getting ready to go to a war. And we're going to get ready to talk about that too. So just to get back to this. So we're done with this girl because I don't want to hear her voice either. It is annoying. Her face is annoying. Her lace front is getting on my nerves. Her hoodie. It's just, whoa, breaking news, y'all. Breaking news. Oh, we got to get into it. Okay. Breaking 32 minutes ago while I was talking. Let's listen. Matt Gaetz
clearing the office.
Officially filed the motion to vacate the chair against Speaker Kevin McCarthy. All right, let's listen to what Matt had to say. Let me put the volume back up because sis was so loud I had to lower the volume.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
Under Rule 9, a resolution offered from the floor by a member other than the majority leader or the minority leader as a question of the privileges of the House has immediate precedence only at a time designated by the chair within 2 legislative days after the resolution is properly noticed. Pending that designation, the form of the resolution noticed by the gentleman from Florida will appear in the record at this point. The chair will not at this point determine whether the resolution constitutes a question of privilege. That determination will be made at the time designated for consideration of the resolution.
Clearing the office.
All right, let's see a couple other.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida now seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House.
The gentleman will state the form of his resolution.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant.
Okay, so we did say that. All right, let me see. Okay, let's see. Matt Gaetz has a few things to say about what's going on. Okay, this was earlier. Let's just look at a few things and then we'll discuss it.
Are you worried about throwing this institution into chaos, paralyzing an institution that your party runs?
Well, you know what I think paralyzes us? Continuing to govern by continuing resolution and omnibus. You know what I think throws this institution into chaos? Marching us toward the dollar not being the global reserve currency anymore. You talk about chaos as if it's me forcing a few votes and filing a few motions. Real chaos is when the American people have to go through the austerity that is coming if we continue to have $2 trillion annual deficits. You don't know chaos until you've seen where this Congress and this uniparty is bringing us. Chaos is not forcing us.
Shout all the way out to Matt Gaetz. All the way out. All right. Well, let me see if I can find anything else.
Agree with my Democrat colleagues on is that for the last 8 months, this House has been poorly led, and we own that, and we have to do something about it. And you know what? My Democrat colleagues will have an opportunity to do something about that too, and we will see if they bail out our failed speaker.
And they won't. Hold on. I just want to see if we have anything else. This was earlier, I think. Oh, no, I'm not for 4 minutes. Hold on. See if I can. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's. All right. Likely person to shut down vote in days ahead. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about it. Yep. Shout out to Jason. You're absolutely right. MSM, especially Fox and Newsmax, will do what they can do to undermine a display of actual leadership. Yes. And that's what they're doing with Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is being attacked as some sort of chaotic, rogue, attention-seeking person. No, Matt Gaetz is doing what he is supposed to do. There's something going on in this country, and Matt Gaetz is the only person, the only well, I'm not going to say the only one who's trying to do something about it, because we haven't even talked about Tommy Tuberville and what's going on with him. But anyway, Matt Gaetz is showing some teeth. He knows that there's something happening. Something is coming. And I don't know when, on what date, I don't know. But for him to do what he just did, this is serious, yo. And to be honest, he's putting himself at risk. He's serious. Oh, I'm going to do this for attention. What does that even mean? Because I heard people saying that on the morning radio, like Matt Gaetz is just trying to make a name for himself. Yeah, you do that by like doing some weird thing, like giving people free money or something, and making little jokes here and there. You don't do that by putting your life at risk, because to be honest, I think that this move can put his life at risk. I'm so sincere. I am. Okay. So what he said, we're getting ready to go to war. You heard he threw that in. He's right. This segues, and I was going to talk about Jamal Brown, but I'm not even going to get into that nonsense. I'm not even going to get into it. Let's go ahead and go right into this Ukraine war that has been going on all this time, but they don't report on it much, because what they're doing with Ukraine is that they're using Ukraine to just hold the line until they can cause mass chaos. Okay. That's what they're doing with Ukraine. There's a Ukrainian genocide happening right now too, by the way. And when Lindsey Graham said to the last Ukrainian, he meant every word of that, yo. But what do you think happens after the last Ukrainian? Okay, we lost this one. We're just going to go ahead and go home. Huh? Okay. So let's go ahead and get into that. But Matt Gaetz is like, yo, to sign a continuing resolution. What happened was, all right, the government shutdown was about to happen. And I kept saying, I was like, they're not going to shut down. I was like, they're going to sign something. They're not going to shut. They don't have the balls to do it. They don't. Because we need it done. We do. Yes, there's bad results. But we need to understand that the symptoms of the shutdown is not to be blamed on the people, the elected officials who actually don't want to just sign a regular, ridiculous spending bill. Okay. We have to blame it on the president right now, who won't compromise, who won't secure the border, who wants to spend a bunch. You hear that? What is that? $2 trillion or whatever. All of that money, that's not for us, guys. That's to send most of it to Ukraine, and then to make cheap things, have equitable merchandise, equitable everything, right? You get nothing, American citizen, right? And then it funnels right back into their pockets. Yes, it does. And he's saying, you think what I'm doing is chaos? I get what he's saying. He's like, you haven't seen a hungry dog yet, but you will if we don't stop. He said, we're going to work and we are de-dollarizing, because yes, the biggest transfer of wealth is happening too. The inflation, I talk about it, like when you go to the market, you got 2 bags worth $200, right? And you're like, what is going on? Yeah, that inflation is going right back in the pockets of these people who want these wars, who are using Ukraine for as a puppet until it's time to send American troops over there officially, by the way, officially, because there's already some people over there, right? And so this is what he's trying to stop. I knew Matt Gaetz was a G when he said he didn't want to get rid of Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Policy Committee. I don't like Ilhan Omar. I don't. But I like her foreign policy is at least, it has a little bit of balls to it. It has more balls to it than a lot of conservatives. Let's just say that. A lot of Republicans, okay? So maybe she shouldn't be part of a domestic, but she's already elected in there. She shouldn't be part of a domestic policy, a domestic committee, you know, keep her away from the things we're doing here. But maybe she should be part of a committee that really looks abroad and says, we don't need to bomb these countries like we've been doing. Because you know who else was doing that? Trump. Okay. He wasn't bombing the countries like they wanted him to do. Right. Okay. When Matt Gaetz was like, she shouldn't be taken off, I was like, wow, I hear you, Bozette, but what I'm saying is I can understand what he was saying. Now, if we don't want her there, the people need to stop electing her. You're right. I don't want her part of a domestic policy making or anything like that, or a domestic committee, but we don't need to, what we've done in other countries, like, I'm not talking about the soldiers on the ground who were simply doing what they had to do for their country, you know, their oath. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the establishment elite that's been taking advantage of the American people for a very long time. It's just that now it's all coming to a head. The de-dollarization, it is happening. It is happening. It's happening so much that people are now listening to me a little bit. So, and we're going to get into Ukraine. There you go. Name, last name. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. I can't have the, you know, the blind, you know, the blind loyalty to Israel. I'm sorry. I need somebody to be, I need somebody who's going to be more scrutinizing of it. I need somebody who's going to at least ask questions, object. Yes, this unanimous loyalty is just, it's not good for the country. That's a whole nother life, right? Actually, I'm going to get back to that later in a little bit. But anyway, so like I was saying, I knew I was going to get a train of thoughts. I went to go get my hair done, and y'all like it, segment. And I was talking to my stylist, a person who couldn't hear the name Trump for the longest time, and a person, Bozette, believe me, I'm going to get back to it. We're going to have to talk about it right after the Ukraine discussion. We'll talk about that. And the government shutdown thing, when they were saying like, oh, it's not right that they're going to try to shut down. And I said, yeah, but look at what's going on at the border. Look at our inflation. We can't just pass spending bills that's causing more problems. You said it. You went to the market, 2 bags, $200, right? That's how you felt, right? You said you felt like you must have been missing bags, right? That you sent your son back. We were laughing about it. She's like, I sent my son back to the trunk of the car. Like, where's the rest of the food? Like, yeah, that's how bad. I said it's because of what's been going on in this country. And that's why the shutdown is, you know, these representatives saying, like, we cannot go on like this. And she was like, you know what, you're right. And then when I was talking to her about Trump, she was like, well, I just can't stand the way he talked. And I said, look, that man is not a politician. I said, you know what? He has a pompous attitude. Sometimes I get it. He's rough around the edges. But he's not a politician. He just says it like it is. You know, people are really ready to start being more welcoming to this, because she was like, you know what, Casey, I never really thought about it. Like, yeah, you know what it is because the fact that what it is, it's people are starting to feel Biden's bad decisions, what's been going on. It's starting to finally hit home. It's going to get worse too. It is. It's going to get worse. We're gonna get on the Israel thing. They're probably gonna nuke the channel afterwards, but we are. Let me just give you guys an update on this Ukraine war that is causing Matt Gaetz to file these resolution. Matt Gaetz said chaos like 10 times slow. So this is my best friend Khadijah. Grocery shopping is so different now. Shaking my head, especially if you buy organic or want to be healthy. Sad. Some people can't even eat. Sick. Chaos. Yes. Biden himself was a bad decision. I know. So let's go ahead, and I want you guys to hear this, you know, this press secretary basically, you know, they don't care about you. They hate you. They do. Hold on. There's just so much to talk about. You see, when I'm going up the thing, there was just a bunch of things that are happening that I can't even keep up. All right, here we go. This is Green Jump.
There is strong, very strong international coalition behind Ukraine. And if Putin thinks he can outlast us, he's wrong. He's wrong. And so we will have another package of aid for Ukraine soon to signal our continued support for the brave people of Ukraine. And so that's our message. If he thinks he can outlast us, that is Mr. Putin, we believe he's wrong. There is strong, very strong international coalition behind Ukraine. And if Putin thinks he can outlast us, he's wrong. He's wrong. And so we will have another package of aid for Ukraine soon to signal our continued support for the brave people of Ukraine. And so that's our message. If he thinks he can outlast us, that is Mr. Putin, we believe he's wrong.
So I know that I'm not meant to be in the White House press room. I just know I'm not, because I couldn't sit there and listen to this and not be like go off. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean another aid package for Ukraine right now, where you're talking about government shutdowns and people can't get their food stamps and everything else that they need, right? And the inflation is so high and this country is breaking from within. We are being invaded every day. There's soldiers coming from other countries. I mean, are you serious? And you have the nerve to say this. These people sit there and they listen. I couldn't do it, because you see how I'm getting right now, right? You see how I'm getting right now? Yo, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, Ian Miles Strong, who I can't stand. Anyway, due to the funding cut off by Congress, the United States will now be freezing contract projects to relocate its resources to supporting Ukraine. The White House will also be sending new aid package to Ukraine. You hear that? So whatever contracts they probably had going on, like for us or whatever nonsense they were doing too, by the way, nonsense. If you look at my old videos from like a while ago when I was talking about the Inflation Reduction Act, aka the Build Back Better plan, aka the Destroy America plan, they were gonna do new projects about like making bike lanes on the highways, using new pieces of wood to make houses or building skyscrapers, because everything's green. So they were putting money on these kind of destructive things. Build Back Better. Remember, Build Back Better never means that. It means build back worse. That's what they said for Haiti in 2012. Look at it. I know Haiti had its problems, but the houses weren't breaking like that. There was no Build Back Better. Okay, they stole the money. Anywho, so but whatever nonsense, they want to use sunflower oil in the airplane gas and stuff. They want to use oil and like vegetable oil instead of using gas, fossil fuels to gas up the planes. They want to use oil. Okay, so so you hear that, but we're gonna pause on that. We got to send money to Ukraine. If Putin thinks he can outlast us, he's wrong. And so we will have another package of aid for Ukraine soon to signal our continued support for the brave people of Ukraine. And so that's our message. America last. Absolutely. They hate you. They do. They hate you. They hate you. Yes, they do. She says this without any problem. There's a lot of black women doing too much for Democrats, right? It's just they know to send black folk out. They do. Because first of all, women, if they're given a cause, they're going to fight for that cause. Right? And I'm writing a book about it. Women are bad. That's not the title. That's just, but it's true. It's not. We have a spirit in us that can be led in a very, very deadly direction. But when we acknowledge that, we get control of our emotions and we start to, make the right decisions. Women can galvanize people. We're supposed to do that. We're mothering nature, all that nurturing. But used for wrong, it can break down a system faster than any man could, right? This woman, she has no problem lying to you. She lied about, she enjoys it. She does. And she's getting bread. She's getting that Ukraine money, right? Oh my God. All right, let me just, yo, this is insane. It's insane. So, let's look up Ukraine real quick, and then we're gonna get real quick into just a quick discussion about what's been going on. I made a lesson on gay trans policy. The morons I have Ukraine flag. My favorite part. Ukraine is a cesspool. Come on. Hold on, my bad. Ukraine's troops are fighting and dying so the rest of us don't have to. My thoughts on the U.S. Congress denying aid to Ukraine. That's that lie they keep trying to tell you. Let us know when you and your family members, this General Mike Flynn, you or your family members are willing to go and fight and potentially give their lives for Ukraine. Then we might give a ish what you have to say about U.S. taxpayer money. Otherwise, on the subject, stuff it. He's right. Yeah. So we go. Pentagon warns Congress that it is running low on money to replace the weapons the U.S. sent to Ukraine and has already been forced to slow down resupplying some troops. Surprising that the tiny Russian budget managed to demilitarize, NATO and make NATO weaker. But I've heard conservatives on radio stations say that, oh no, Putin's army is getting weaker. It's getting weaker. Yeah, look, he's using old tanks. He doesn't even have new tanks. He's using old tanks. And I'm like, why are you lying to people like this? Like, why is this? It was General Keith Kellogg. It was him who's saying, oh yeah, Putin's bad and he has no tanks. He's using old tanks. Yeah, he's using his old stuff, because why would I use my new stuff when the old stuff is doing pretty good? Getting rid of your stuff, right? We are being sacrificed. I have no other word for it. I don't have any other word for it, And again, what happens? And let me look for one more thing. Because this woman, she posted something and I wanted to talk about it. Yep, there we go, Melanie. And then we're gonna come back. Shout out to okay, I'm gonna have to watch this. Okay. Shout out to Melanie, always with the posts. Oh, she's reposting a lot today. But she posted a particular article that scared the bejesus out of me, but I'm not sure. Dang, she posts a lot more than I knew. But it's just so much going on. You got to, I guess. You can't even man. Sorry, y'all. Just bear with me. This was a while ago, too. I might not be able to, Oi. Ay. It was something about us getting ready to go to war. It's gonna take me too long to find it. I wanted to find it. Hold on, let me see if I can look one more thing up. It's just gonna take a while. I'm not gonna be able to find it because Ukraine live briefing Blinken departure. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while. I'm gonna have to come back to it. But it was something, just how many U.S. troops and spies we have in Ukraine. God, it's so annoying because the article was basically stating what I had been saying. You're getting glitchy. I thought it was me that I really do. I hate StreamYard. I'm not using I know, Bozette, I didn't expect it. Yay. Yeah. Am I still glitchy? Hold on. All right, I think I'm back. Okay, yeah, I'm back. I froze, it started, but it sounds like I'm back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go. We're about to wrap all of this up. Thank you guys. The article basically was saying something along the lines of getting ready to go into war. What's happening with Ukraine is this. They said, whoever's NATO, Anthony Blinken, they want a ceasefire in Ukraine. They want to slow down things. Hey, Russia, let's have a ceasefire. What does that mean? That means let's stop fighting so we can build back up the Ukraine army, and then we could go fighting it. Russia would be done. They're like, no, in no way will there be a ceasefire. They said, well, we can have real peace talks, but in no way will there be a ceasefire. But Russia also knows too, because even when Lavrov was saying, like, all right, we can have peace talks, but really, can we trust y'all? We had peace talks before. That would have left Ukraine with a lot more land than they will have now, right? But you guys went behind our backs and did what y'all wanted to do with that. So why would Russia ever just say, oh, okay, oh, you're done fighting now? Okay. All right, we trust you again. Come on, right? To the last Ukrainian. That's first of all, I don't want that. These people, they're getting kids, 16-year-old little girls. Yeah. That's the kind of people who are fighting in Ukraine. The life expectancy for a soldier on the front lines in Ukraine, it is like 4 hours. 4 hours. And what are they fighting for exactly? What are they fighting for? They're persecuting Christians in Ukraine too. Y'all, she's back again. But get her. Get her. But this bitch. I'm sorry. Hold on. This is insane. Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, that's where you found me, name, last name. That's what's up. Wait, hold on. I'm about to get right back. So yeah, that's the people who are fighting in Ukraine. 16-year-old little girls. What are they fighting for? Right? They're persecuting Christians. Yes. The real actual UOC, Ukraine Orthodox Church, is being persecuted for the new church that Mike Pompeo had a hand in making, called the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. What the heck is going on in Ukraine? But I did do a live about that last year, about it being a spiritual war. So I think I'm going to do another live about that soon. There's just so much to talk about. But to the last Ukrainian means, get ready. It'll be Americans next. The British army, whatever little bit of army they have left, they're getting ready to send their troops to Ukraine. So who's next? It's insane. Now, there was a discussion that happened on Twitter. Hold on a second. We're gonna talk about it just a little bit, because this is to talk about the whole situation with Israel and the ADL. That, like, why I say certain things about Ilhan Omar. Like, I don't trust. It's funny how they got rid of. So I don't trust conservatives to do this. I don't. Unfortunately, it has to be a leftist that would actually try to stand up to Israel at least a little bit. This notion that I'll probably lose subscribers. The truth lands where it falls. And Satan is real, and it's this girl. What the freak? Like, how am I being spammed like this? Okay, put user in timeout. Oh, all right, bet. All right. Yeah. Satan Israel. But yeah, so conservatives they're not gonna do it the way they're supposed to, because this kind of conversation that I'm talking to you about, I don't see any conservatives talking about it. I answer to God first. I don't answer to a country or any group of people first. I answer to God first. And so the truth lands where it falls. So ban the ADL. That was going on Twitter. We were talking about banning the ADL. If you knew how much the Anti-Defamation League is supposed to be fighting anti-Semitism, racism, whatever. This thing, I'm not going to say too much stuff on it, because I don't have the code words yet, and I don't want to nuke my channel just yet over this. But this is the type of stuff they do. They went to court to stop celebrations of Christmas. They've been doing this for decades. And like Cult Classic Cage said, we've given them money for walls. We give them money for everything. And the fact that I'm having this conversation, I'll be called some sort of anti-something, right? I have questions about a lot of things, because you wake up one day and you're like, this is not what they taught me. Like, what they taught me in school, it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, it's not adding up. And I just have some questions, right? That's all. Oh, but I'm an anti something for having questions? No. And why, again, I say that you won't find a conservative who's really going to talk about this. Let me just check my audio. Okay. You won't find a conservative to talk about it because they're afraid. They are afraid. Like I said, I've been on a DeSantis space where they told me, you say you're a Christian, you have to protect these people in order to get to heaven. I'm like, man, what cult is this? Like, no, I got to love God in order to get to like, I'm confused. What? And this is the kind of talk we have. So, there was this big discussion about certain people who aren't allowed to have platforms, and conservatives, they kick out this certain person, we want freedom of speech, but not for that one. The First Amendment is not for freedom of speech we like and we're comfortable with. It's actually for freedom of speech we hate. It really is. As long as nobody's calling for anybody to be ended, And when you hear Ron DeSantis going all the way to Jerusalem, I'm going to always bring this. Yeah, they did come back, Bozette. I'm always going to bring up this thing. Ron DeSantis went all the way to Jerusalem to sign a speech law for Florida. That is a purple. That's the most reddest flag I could think of. I don't want him anywhere near the White House. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't. I'm not going to push that too much, but I don't. Personally, I think he's an establishment show. I do. I remember the name Pat Buchanan, but I write these down. I'm late to the game a little bit. I am, but I'm catching up with everything. I am. You don't have to agree with somebody on everything that they're saying to hear facts. People are waking up to a lot of different things. People are noticing patterns, and they're not wrong for noticing the patterns. And just to even for now end this conversation, because this conversation, when I do bring it, it has to be brought with more facts. But what I will say is this: I am a Black woman who understands that criticism is not racism. Excuse me. Questions are not racism. I see patterns. Like I said, going right back full circle to the Tupac thing. When I said another Black thing, we lost that kind of talent. Hold on, because I'm probably lagging. My God, you want to talk about technical difficulties? Yeah. So, yeah. We lost that kind of talent, Tupac Shakur, over another Black thing. Enders, Black people are erasing themselves. I can't deny that obvious fact. I can't deny it. It's the truth. And it's the truth. So if I could, so somebody else to say that's racist to say that. Well, it could be whatever you think it is, but it's the truth. We need to be able to talk about whatever with these labels, but I've always been about that on this channel. I have made episodes about I don't take on labels. I don't give out labels. I really don't, because they're very subjective. You can't prove that about a person. I can't prove what's in somebody's heart. I can say your actions are racist if that's what I see, because obviously there is racism, and there really are people calling for the ending of certain people, but not on some huge platform. They probably say to their friends or something. I don't know, right? But the point that I'm making is, again, what I'm talking about is mainstream. What I'm talking about is this organization that has control over everything. Twitter is under attack, and then they had Elon, they had a whole space. Elon, next thing I knew, Elon said he was Jewish and that he was going to go to Auschwitz. So, I don't know. I'm like, dang, so we just got to wake more people up. And that's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing together. And that's why I love coming on, turning on the mic and just talking to you guys. At first I was like, let me just hurry up and tape up a few videos. And I was like, man, no, I need to feel the groove. I need to feel the vibe. I need to feel it. Like, let me just go live. And I'm so glad I did. I really am glad I did. We had some defectors trying to come and hate. It's okay. Nobody cares about them. And now guess what? Due to that fact, I learned how to make people moderators. I have great moderators on the channel now. And, everybody on the chat was really fun. We had a good time. So we're going to start doing this again at my phone is getting hot. This is insane. Like, what is going on with the connection? So yeah, every Thursday, somewhere around 6 o'clock, we're going to start doing the lives again. start bringing people back. We got to talk about everything. I do have a Rumble. I am going to start promoting my Rumble. My next live, I will promote the Rumble because I have a feeling by 2024 they probably will. I don't know. I don't know how long I'll be on YouTube. So I'm trying to get everything in place. So again, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for having all the discussions. You know, we had to keep it real about a lot of things that are happening, and we'll keep on watching. We'll keep up with the breaking news too and see what's happening. I don't know. I do know. But I know. And I'm not going to put dates on things. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, by August, we're going to be in. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I can feel it will get hot. You know, next year, they don't care. They're going to do whatever they can. Oh, and you got a notification. Well, thank you. I'm glad, Jason, that they gave you a notification. I'm glad they sent out notifications, you know. But other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. And I will see you guys at the next video and at the next live Thursday. Let's just go ahead and set the appointment. Thursday at 6. Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you there.